Hello guys, today we're making a brand new live stream today. Oops, sorry. Make sure it doesn't fall. I'm trying to fix the issue here. Probably need a little more screwdrivers. Sorry about that. There we go. Much better. Let me put it this perspective. Hey guys, how you guys doing today? Hello, welcome to the stream. ARB, I believe it's, I forgot what to call you. MR, maybe? MR is good, I think. Today we're making a brand new live stream. I'm going to be, growing my audience by interacting with them. So, I have nothing else to do today, so thought about making a brand new live stream to interact with y'all, whether you guys are brand new or if you guys have been watching my videos for the past few days. I'm reworking my live streams. Obviously, I try making my live stream on Twitch, but I'd rather do it on YouTube, to, use both platforms, right? Because I'm not abandoning my YouTube, right? I'm still here. I exist in my YouTube channel. Of course, I won't be uploading as often because I got my things, I got my life, like everyone does. Thankfully, though, I got back with one of my friends a few days ago. I believe it was yesterday. That's right. Mrs. She returned back again to my DMs. We chatted, we talked in VC, we had a good time. And yeah, that was yesterday. Today, who knows, might be a brand new surprise. I don't know. We'll see. But for those who don't know, in this live stream, right, I want to let y'all know that everyone, whether you guys are brand new, most of you guys are going to be brand new watching this live stream. You guys can interact with my live streams. You guys can chat. Everyone's welcome to do, as long as they follow the guidelines, which is don't break the TOS, which is no sending inappropriate comments. None of that is allowed in my live stream. So I will be updating my rules. I think in my YouTube channel, I'm going to be making a community post where there will be making the brand new rules coming up to my channel, as well as what's going to be the brand new stuff coming up. That goes for the Ventura cinematics. I'm going to be working on it. My second cinematic of my project is going to get started. For those who don't know, I did do the intro long ago. I believe it was like a few months ago. I did the intro of the second cinematic. The first one, the trailer is already out, right? It's already out in my YouTube. You guys can go check it out if you guys haven't already. In there, you guys can see a little idea of what's gonna happen in the second cinematic. Now, this second cinematic, obviously, it's gonna be me. There's not gonna be any render animations because I need to get to that level, and we will get there, but we need to start with something basic first. Now, when I say basic, I don't mean it's basic, okay? We're gonna be using CGI, okay? CGI effects you guys see in films, I'm going to be using it in my editing. That's right. So technically, it's a lot more work than animation would be, but it still counts, right? It still matters. It still counts. It's a lot more work, yeah. But hey, we're gonna get started with something that's gonna leave you guys in the bunkers, okay? That's right. So I'm gonna bring my friend real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my OC here. Right, I have him here. For those who don't know who my OC is, I mean this character right here, A-Crow. By the way, I voice act A-Crow, by the way. I do his character, I do his personality. Every single character that I've drawn that's part of my project I'm going to be voice acting them, guys. I know. And I'm planning to make it as part of the CGI, like a VHS kind of type perspective. That is going to be the cinematic, and it's going to be a whole new perspective, right? It's going to be like a film would be. Well, yeah, it is going to be like a film, obviously. It will require time, but tomorrow is going to be the first introduction, the official version. I did one, and I believe that was a warm-up section. The first one that I'm going to do, which is the second cinematic, the real cinematic, is going to last like about 2 minutes. Oof, 2 minutes. Now that is a lot of work, but hey, 2 minutes is not bad, okay? I mean, what I want is the quality of the project to turn out amazingly, right? Obviously, there's not going to be anyone else but me, in the session, in the section. But obviously, I'm going to be making two characters. One is going to be me. The other one's going to be, well, you guessed it, a crow. But you guys are going to see in that second cinematic, you guys are going to see, you guys may not want to miss this, by the way, because in this cinematic, you guys are going to see just how deep this character is for me. Okay. The voice of A Crow is a voice in which I love because it brings so much perspective. It brings characters to life, right? Because when I mean by it brings characters to life, it's like I can do the sounds of the alive mascots, right? They have really unique sound effects, which I don't need to use a program to do that. All I got to do is just use my vocal instrument. For those who are unaware, I have been warming up, making my own sound effects without having to use a program or anything. And while it sounds ridiculously unbelievable, well, it is believable. Believe it, because I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make a separate live stream where I'm going to be warming up the sound effects, with my mouth. That's right. I'm going to be doing it myself. No program, no nothing. It's just myself. And you guys are going to stay shocked for a very long time. In fact, the way it sounds, right? A Crow has a certain sound that he imitates, as well as other characters, that is very, very aesthetic, right? It sounds straight out of a film, out of a movie. Obviously, you guys might think that I don't have the time to do it, but I do. In fact, I'm going to put this full time. I'm going to put this full time on creating this happen. I'm going to make this happen, okay? Even if I don't have a big audience, which I do, but they're not here. I'm going to make it happen one way or another. Okay? You guys are going to have the full blow experience there in the second cinematic. By the way, this cinematic, the main goal was $500. That was the main goal. It wasn't 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 like movies are. That movies cost millions, by the way. And the CGI is okay. Yeah, it works, but like, not to be rude to CGI movies these days, but CGI movies for me these days, like, I like Avengers from the, I like Avengers Doomsday, but the CGI isn't there for me. It really isn't. As much as I love it, I would prefer Spider-Man Brand New Day over Avengers Doomsday. And a lot of people agree on that, in that term, right? Like the scene between Thor and Thanos and Thor and Victor Von Doom, they're very different. In fact, the CGI with Thanos and Thor, they're more realistic. They're like, it looks like they put more effort rather than what they did with Thanos and Thor. Or, sorry, with Thor's and Victor Von Doom. Like, it has more effort. at least the movement of Thor looks more realistic on the Thanos version than Victor Von Doom. I don't know if that's the trailer. It could be the trailer that's very early and they're going to re-release it in the movies, right? Like, the CGI is there. It exists. I guess it's way too early, I guess, but I don't know. The first few scenes that I saw of that part, I got the goosebumps, but the way Thor moved, I don't know. I don't know. I do prefer that over what they did to my friend Shrek. I do prefer that though. I prefer Thor and Victor Von Doom over Shrek. Yeah, because that's for me. That's AI slop for me. With the Shrek movie or whatever, which there's no fifth movie for me. There's rather a fourth, third, second movie for me, and the first one, obviously the OG version. That's the classic, right? In the Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. In there, in that part, I would rather watch the Lost Island animation, which has a name, by the way, which the original animators of Puss in Boots are working on that, rather than what they did with Shrek. They don't work on that anymore. They left a whole new team for it, so I don't know. For me, it looks like another studio's working on it, but I don't know. It just doesn't fit it. But yeah, I'm just gonna say CGI has changed a lot. Animation has changed a lot over the years, and all I'm gonna say is that I'm gonna put max effort. All right, I'm gonna be planning. Hey, let's buy this arm stand for my phone. We're gonna put it on in a certain place, whether it's outside in the forest or whichever area we need to put the scenes. I'm gonna put max effort, right? Again, we're gonna use nature for the ground itself. Everything else, right? Obviously, I'm planning to add like the narrator type voice. I'm gonna do a lot of tasks, whether it's narrator, whether it's the voice of Akra, which is my OC, or whether it's my voice. I'm going to be implementing all of that into the cinematic. All of it. That's right. And from editing to everything else, it's going to take like about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Without funding. Okay? Because like, that's why the funding is needed. To try to speed up the process. But since there wasn't any funding, which in that case I will need to, work on myself with the money that I have, which it does work, but I don't know. It's there, I guess. I guess I'll just say that my intelligence is more on the table than money. Okay. Despite me, who doesn't care about fame, I don't care about fame. I don't care about ego either. As someone who's very humble with people, I think intelligence beats money over time. You know? And that's the thought that I had in my process of my mind, where a million times when you dedicate yourself in increasing your IQ over money, I feel like IQ beats it over time, and people just don't put in detail the main process of the main idea, right? I could have been like any person out there and say, oh, why don't you just give up? You can tell me how many people told me that. And trust me, if I would have just listened to them, I would have just stopped doing the works. I would have just abandoned everything. If I was to listen to them, but since I'm not going to listen to them, and I'm going to continue creating something that's going to blow people's minds, because the amount of like buildup that this project has is beyond human comprehension. The whole story is beyond comprehension. And Like I said, I remember all the scenes from top to bottom. I know the characters, I know their names, I know their families, everything, every detail. All of it, I had it in all in different visions. One, two, three, four, five, six. All of those, whether it's 10 visions, 20 visions, I have tons of these visions, and each of them I broke them like puzzle pieces, right? You want to know how that took? 5 years. 5 years to break them all, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. And it became something so persistent. The visions were like coming faster to me and faster and faster and faster to the point that I couldn't ignore it anymore. Okay? At first, I could have thought it was just a coincidence. I could have just called it a dream, like people says, oh, it's a dream. It's probably imagination. But the more I got into it, the more I came into the conclusion this is no longer a dream. This is beyond that. And here's the craziest part, right? Because for those who don't know, and I'm going to say it out there in this live stream, y'all don't have to believe me, because again, I don't expect y'all to do. But the reason why this project has the big roots of what it is today is because of how insane the story buildup is. Okay? In fact, if I was to say this as a fact, because again, I got to experience it myself, you guys would just stay you guys would just stay with your mouth open of like having rough time of believing. That's how deep this project is. If I was to say in this live stream that every single character of my project is capable of manifesting in the real life perspective, you guys would be, what? That's right. You know the characters of all those universes, like for example, that they got brought into a certain perspective. You know, Noisy from Five Nights at Freddy's. You guys know Five Nights at Freddy's? Well, guess what? There's someone out there building a little animatronic that's like this size, and his name is Noisy, by the way. And that thing is real. That thing is not imagination. Well, it was at first until it became a thing. Well, the same thing that became a thing, the same thing my characters became a thing. They manifested in real life. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Okay? That's how realistic this project became for me. That's how deep it became. Each of these characters I manifested represented someone that I'm going to meet over the time. And I'm going to be the ones changing their lives. Doesn't matter what type of life they're in, I'm going to change their life, one way or another. That's what every single of those characters represent. Whether, they're in a world of luxury, in a world where they are in and they need someone who can back them up, right? That's a little example, right? AKA one of my characters that I got to meet in my visions, right? I believe it was a she, goes by the name of Kayla, right? Well, a lot of people say, oh, what if this is no coincidence? It is no coincidence to start with. I had a vision where I got to meet my girlfriend in the future. I got to meet my girlfriend in the future, and I saw it in a vision. And a little sneak peek. I'm gonna show you our piece. Let me put this away. Hold on. Okay. So, you guys are gonna stay shocked, I know. But this right here is Kayla. Kayla, I drew her from the bottom to the top, right? And I might draw one day when I get my digital tablet, I will draw the whole body. Let me go ahead and put the camera here so you guys can see. Here's my monkey right here called Edgar. All right. I'm going to go ahead, put my mic here, and I'm going to go ahead and put Kayla right here. Oops, sorry. Can you hold her, buddy? Yes, you can. Perfect. There we go. Let me put my arm. Hold on. You know what? Let me put you right here. There we go. There it is. There's Kayla with Edgar over there. All right. There she is. Okay. So, Kayla was a character that I saw, and she changed the way I got to see things in my vision, right? Long story short, let me make this the story of me and Kayla short, because I don't want to make this live stream too long on her, because again, I wanted to talk about the second cinematic coming up in the next few weeks. So, me and Kayla, right? You know what? Let me just take off my jacket. Hold on. It's very hot in here. Okay, so Kayla and I, right? Kayla and I, her and I, we got to meet in a cafe, right? This is the vision right here. We got to meet in a cafe, right? Let me take my bubble gum out. Hold on. Okay. So me and Kayla met in a cafe, right? We were doing what people does when they meet for the first time, right? Kayla was a character that at first she looked like an ordinary person at first. That was until one day she told me these exact same words. And she said these words, and I'm going to say that on the live stream here. She said, "What if you would do something that the world has never done before? Would you join me in this trip, or would you not?" And she said the word Kaner. 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 That's what she said. Kaner. And when I heard this name of Kaner, I was like saying, "What do you mean, Kaner? My name's Diego." And then she told me, right? She came in and told me, "But that's going to be your personal name." And I was like, "What? My personal name?" And when I asked her, "What does this name mean?" Kaner, she came in and told me, Kaner means someone who is capable of not backing down. And at the end of the day, exceeding the expectations of those behind you. That's what the word Kaner means. Someone who is capable of breaking a code that is not capable of breaking by simple humanoid. And that right there, when I heard those words in my head, I was like, what? No ordinary woman would tell me that, right? I was like, no ordinary woman would tell me that. And when I heard those words hit my head, she left a note in the top of the desk of the place, of the cafe, of the bar, which the cafe was in. And she comes in with her heels, she walks out, and leaves. But guess where she leaves at? She leaves at the back door, not the front door, which the cafe was in. This person named Kayla was no ordinary person. At first, I thought she was. But when I grabbed the letter, it had this image, this art piece, which, by the way, I have seen digital artists out there. But this drawing that she did on a small piece of paper, the small piece of paper was like this. This long was the small piece of paper. When I grab that paper and I look at it, it has this professional drawing traditionally, but it's there. It has her character face in it. And, well, what do you know? It has her full name. And the back of the letter says, "Come and meet me." Come, C-O-M-E, come with me, and I will show you the route in which you are meant to be. Ooh. Now, when I heard those words, I was flabbergasted. Okay? I was flabbergasted. Because when I came and followed her, I go to the back door. Because obviously only employees can go there. It seems at the time I was looking for a job, right? At the time that I had that vision at that place, I come in on the back of the door, and guess what? This is where things start to go from, human knowledge all the way into something that's over humanoid. And you guys may want to stay in the last stream today, because what you guys are about to hear, well, whether you guys watch this in lifetime or you guys watch this later, you guys may want to hear this. Because in this part is where I transition into being who I was into what I am today. And this is what made me go from, I'm going to just ignore this, from ignoring this all the way into, okay, I'm going to continue this until it reaches its peak. The peak of the expectations, of my expectations. Because I wanted to, the curiosity, like they said, curiosity killed the cat. Well, I, aka the cat, went into exploring deeper and deeper and deeper into this project, right? Similar to other projects out there. For example, here's a little example. The vibe that this project gives me, the story that this gives me is like lackadaisy type vibe, night vibe, and a mix of something else over time. It's like a mix of a lot of things, like cyberpunk, yada yada yada. You know, it's nostalgic at the same time. Now, this is where the real thing begins, because once I follow her in the back door, right? The door was wide open. I go to the back door, and she was waiting for me there in the back door. But she didn't just, she wasn't just there. She was wearing a hoodie, red hoodie with the, well, you guessed it, Fennec ears. Or did I say that right? Ears, you know, like ears, so if someone would have to hear things. Fennec ears on the top of the hoodie, and she comes in, stares at me with glowing eyes, and does a signature. And that signature is this. She comes in and points the finger to a wall, and I look at the wall and was like, what's there? I'll look at the wall, guess what it says? It says written, like sprayed. You know how people spray the walls these days and they do like graffiti? Well, it was there, and it said these words saying, repeat these words and you will witness something beyond us, beyond your world. And I come in the back door and I say those words. I don't know why. My curiosity gets the best of me and I say the words. The words are, I want to create something that no one has ever created. And the second quote was, I want to be part of something that no one has ever witnessed. Now that is the two quotes that not only did I set it in my vision, I said it in real life. Now, when I said those words, I fall down a hole. I seep down a hole, and that's where my entire view changes. Because from going into the place that I was in the real life perspective, this wasn't a vision, by the way. This perspective wasn't a vision. I come in, fall down a hole, and the place that I fall in is the exact same place that I'm here. The exact same place that I'm here. This entire apartment, all of it, 3 floors, the back of the forest, all of it, I get to see it. The difference was that I came falling from the sky in the vision that wasn't really the sky. It was not the sky. At first, it could have been the sky, but that's what I could have thought, but it wasn't a sky. It was the entrance of those 2 forests in the backyard. Because there's 2 forests like this in this perspective. There's one here, one on the front, one on the back. And I came through both. And I went to this perspective of my entire place that I live in. Well, turns out that once I leave that perspective, I see something glowing, like 2 rocks were glowing. And these rocks had the exact same signatures that she had in her drawing. You want to know what that signature was? This. This was the signature. This symbol. This symbol right here has like 2 parts, connecting one to another, like this. That was the symbol. Now, when you think about that, when you have time to process that in your mind, you come to realization how, oh, it's connected. My mind goes haywire because now it goes from a vision to real life. Now my mind knows it's no longer just my consciousness, it's no longer just my mind, but it's real. It's real life. These characters showed me a way of something considered time travel. Now, when you come to realization how much history there is in the files that has been deleted, unfortunately, because the government loves deleting that for some reason, because the government doesn't want to creep people out. But the thing is, right, I'm not the only person that has talked about time travel, right? Time travel has existed for centuries. That goes for portal, teleportation to another. Thank you. Thanks for the water. Appreciate it. Thank you. Now, have you lucid dream? It with your, wait, hold on. Let me read that comment. Have you tried lucid dreaming it? Will it change your life? I have tried a dream perspective that's like traveling, but like, I'm capable of like moving in it. Like, it's not just any dreaming. It's like you have control over it. If you know what I mean. It's like you have the ability to like, the type of visions that I've had in are to the point that it gets to the point where you can see in detail what's happening in it, and you can recognize the features of the people there. Any detail you would see in real life perspective, right? But this is beyond dreaming, okay? Originally, I thought it was a dream, but the fact that it connects with real life, and how do I know it connects with real life? Well, because the fact that everything, the surroundings, where there's similar things like this, there's a backyard that I have that has this forest that the trees are like, they're like this, and there's one behind it that looks exactly identical. It's insane, right? And you could think it's just trees, right? But here's the thing. Next to those trees, right besides the back one, which is normally the one that I came out of in the vision, I saw the runes. They were like rocks next to the back tree, the back version. And I even walked to it. I even made a video on it, which it's not public. I made a video on it. I recorded it with my phone, and I saw the exact same runes there. They have the exact same symbol, like this, carved like this, perspective, in the rock. Kind of crazy. Now, what's even more crazy is the fact that was only the beginning. That was only the beginning. Because when I returned back home, right, in the perspective, right, of when I woke up from that vision that felt so real, so insane, right? Well, I wake up the next day, and the day goes around normally, right? That is, until one day I go in a certain perspective where I walk in the hallway of my, house, right? I do my normal things. I do my normal everyday stuff, right? That is until one day. And by the way, I will read your comment in a minute. But before I read that comment, I want to say this very important thing, right? And that is that when I come in, right, I do my normal things, I shower and do my everyday thing, right? Well, turns out that when I actually do those things, right, and I sleep again, well, before I do sleep, I say the exact same quote I said in my vision in real life. This was vision or whatever. It was real life perspective. When I repeat those words and I go to bed, I sleep, right? That other vision that I get, the second one, is where I meet my first character. The first character I got to witness. And by the way, I witnessed him in my vision and I got to witness in real life. Now, take some time to process that, right? Because all of these things, all of these visions connect with my project that I'm working on. All the characters, all of the voice acting that I do, every single thing that I do, every character inspiration that I do comes out of my project. Every single one. And every single character. Now, before I continue, obviously I'm going to read this guy's comment. Now, yeah, you got it. You can get to the point where you change the dreams, like in the Matrix, also unlocks memories you have remembered awake. That is true. That is true. That is true. That is very, very, very true. In fact, I was actually, the first day, right? And again, I'm being very genuine about this, okay? When I actually got to have that first vision that I had, the first one and the second one that I had to go to my phone and search up if it was a bit more information about this, right? Because I thought originally that it was just a type of dream, right? Because originally I never thought this was a vision. That was until the second, the third, fourth, fifth, and the visions kept growing, right? They kept growing. In, I believe, the fifth to the 10 vision that I had, I met about 4 to 5 characters each. And obviously the most realistic one that I had was Versary. Versary himself. And for those who don't know who Versary is, I will be talking in the next live stream each character, right? How big they are, how insane they look. I'm going to describe each one, every single one of them. Now, this will all connect to the second cinematic. And this is where the real film begins. Because again, it's made by a real life story, aka me. This is a real life story. Now, out of what happened in the real life perspective about the visions of things being real, I'm planning to make a film of myself, a film where there I talk more deeper into it. And I give that atmosphere, that all of those things I'm planning to make in the cinematic of 2 minutes. Now that is going to change my life, because what's crazy is the fact that this project gave me an opportunity, right? It gave me the opportunity of of embracing what I wanted, right? Because I was always passionate in my heart to create something that was original, that was something that wasn't from someone else, but rather from me, right? I don't know why I'm getting emotional, man. But I wanted to create something that would give the detail of what this futuristic project is from me. And hold on. Let me. Okay. All right. All right. Sorry, I got a comment on my chat. It says this message is hell for review. All right. All right. But yeah, I'm very ready to take this project a step further. You know? I'm ready to announce the preparation of what this project is. Everything I've worked on persistently, every effort that I've put into this project of Dentores, I even have the name and everything. The brand, the project logo, everything. I got everything ready to go. The only thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be voice acting them. That's the difference. 8 Crow, I've already done it. I'm going to redo it again though, because it's exciting. You know, it's exciting to do 8 Crow again. You know, Ikro is exciting. He's one of the best ones of the crew. Another one that's very fun. Let me show you guys a few artworks I've done here. Hold on. So let me put my mic here so I can. Okay, where's he at? There's so many, dude. Okay, one of the recent ones that I did was none other than this guy. What is his name? Titran, right? Titran, the almighty Titran. Titran was the main villain, right? He's literally the main villain. There's a lot of villains in this project, but this one is the main one of the story. Titran, right? In fact, I don't think I've posted him anywhere in my game RAM or Twitter. It's been there. You know, Titran, the reason why I call him Titran is because he rides a speedster train that's very, very fast. Not only that, he is capable of transforming reality itself in the project, in the world of the Antaurus, right? Because the Antaurus is a mall in which is beyond time. It's capable of having multiple worlds in that mall, whether it's a distorted dimension or you name it. A forest that's very, very, very dense forest with fog and everything. You name it. But the main villains here are Titran is the main villain. The other one is called Lavul. Lavul's the second one. And the third one is none other than Lavox. Lavox, Lavul, and Titran. These three, they are the main... Oh, I forgot about one. The fourth. I believe his name is... What is his name? How could I forgot? Tonier. 4 of them. Tonier, the mad scientist. What's the other one? That Tonier. Oh my god, I keep forgetting. Tonier, Lavox, Lavul, and Titran. All of them 4. And there's a 5th as well. But the 5th one becomes good at the end. Or not at the end, at the middle of the story. His name is none other than Versary. Versary is the 5th. The 5th is Versary. The 4th one is Tonier. The 3rd one is Lavox. Or the 4th. Wait. 5, 4, 3. Okay. 3 is Lavox, Lavul, and Titran. Titran is the main villain of them all. In fact, he is the one that is capable of, like, he's a monster, literal monster from outside to inside. He's pure evil, pure evil. Okay, he does not care about gruesome scenes. Titran, he does not care. He just evaporates anything. If you guys have seen Morty from Rick and Morty, you guys know, right? Even though Rick, if you guys know Rick, right? Even though Rick was like, it was evil, yeah, but the scientist, but imagine Rick, but with madness, pure madness. That's Titran for you. With that enlarged smile from the sides. I made him look like this, but from this drawing, he looks a lot more terrifying if I was to make it in a 3D perspective. He has this long and large smile. You know, like a pumpkin that has like these... what is this villain from a Minecraft story mode that has like this white pumpkin? You guys know it. You know, the guy with the smiles at the side, that he's like the shadow perspective. Like him, but humanoid. Or not humanoid. He shapeshifts like a human, but he's not a human. He is beyond comprehension. Whew. He is literally the villains of villains, right? In fact, he is even colder than Death from Puss in Boots. If the villain from Puss in Boots, Death, was a very cold villain, this goes beyond that. Man, I love to talk about Titran. Titran is the best build-up villain I've ever seen. Although Versary is a very powerful and terrifying villain, but he's more like he is confused. He's like very, very in the mix of both teams. Like he has a good side, but at the same time, the darkness is what's maintaining his understanding of his good side. Like it's keeping him away from knowing that he's a good person. Versary is the speedster of alive mascots. Now, as I talk about these villains, right, I will be talking about all the alive mascots in a live stream, but that is if I got time. But I believe once the second cinematic comes out, or the few cinematics that comes out, I will be explaining each story of them, right? And which biome they exist in the project, because the Mall of Dentoris is humongous. You know what? I'm going to call my project Dentoris from this point on, because it's literally the name. I just keep saying project like project, but no, it's called Dentoris. So Dentoris, right? You guys know, if I ever say Dentoris, it means project, which it stands for the name of the brand. Now, Dentoris is a world that has a bunch of biomes in the mall. It's like it has a parallel reality, aspect of reality, diagonal reality. It goes beyond that. Okay, it has a bunch of levels, similar to the back rooms. The back rooms has like these levels where like there's the water level, there's the this a bunch of levels in the back rooms. Well, imagine that, but worse. Imagine that, but more. That's what Dentoris is. It's bigger than the back rooms, and back rooms keeps going. But God, it's insanity. I know. And anybody would have gotten lost from this, but I just continue, You look at this posture that I'm in. I'm in the posture that I just talk in a way where it makes me comfortable, because, man, I'm excited, y'all. Let me know if you guys are excited for the second cinematic, because I'm gonna need y'all support for this. It's already in the going scenes, and I'm gonna get started this weekend. So, woo! Oh man, let me just be honest, right? I have never had such ambition in a project before. At this level? Oopsie. My apologies. But, man, oh God, I've never been invested ever so much in this project. I keep saying project. Dentoris. Woo. What do I have to say? All I got to say is that I'm excited for this. That's what I'm going to say. I'm excited because, whew, man, we're looking through a lot of brand new storylines, brand new cinematics, brand new ways to expand a brand new universe. When I mean it, I mean it. There it is. I did a little. You know what? Let me just talk with like a crow quick, so you guys can. For those who are new here, you guys want to hear a crow talk for a little while? Sure, why not? Here we go. You ever heard of a character that belongs in a universe, but it's more static? You know, with that uniqueism, with that stylized perspective, right? At first I was like, oh, it starts like this, goes beyond that, and from that perspective, I just take it there, one after the other, and it just becomes fully detailed. When you have that perspective, like, I go here, I go the other, it's there, it exists. Then Taurus is a project that's going to change reality itself. I know. And at first it may seem like, oh, it's there, but I'm not going to surrender very easily. In fact, and by the way, in fact, I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to make this happen. And when I do, y'all will be shocked for eternity. And there was a crow. That's a crow's voice. That's a crow's perspective. I know. Now, I'm really excited to do this with y'all. Catch y'all later, guys. Take care for me.